After being a designer for over 8 years now, it's really hard not to spot some common patterns. And as I was coaching a student the other day, I re-stumbled upon this concept of the UX pyramid, and I want to share with you my experience and why this is crucial to understand, so that you can understand pretty much 95% of the miscommunications and the problems that junior designers usually have with clients, and also middleweight designers. Because if you understand this, this is going to give you an edge over pretty much 99% of designers out there. And without further ado, let's jump into the very concept. So the main idea of the UX pyramid is that we have 6 levels. So the very first one is you have to go and create something which is functional. Now the second level, it has to be reliable. The third one is it has to be usable. The fourth one is convenient. Fifth one, pleasurable. And sixth is meaningful. Now, if we look at the very bottom sections, you can see that those are more objective views. So basically, this is usually what clients will ask you to do 95% of the time. And if you're working with a client that has a low budget or doesn't has a lot of time to get something done, they want something which is usable, which it works, which users understand, and you might not have a lot of emphasis on the aesthetics. And that's usually where us designers we cringe, and we're like, no, but we want to make it better. If you can give me like some more time or more budget, I can create like the fancy animations, I can create the fancy designs, and really make it beautiful and such an engaging user experience. And then you would hear the client say, no, we have to get this delivered now. So this will usually would be the case, especially if you're working with lower tier clients. If you're working with higher tier ones, where things may be a little bit slower, and don't get me wrong, sometimes you're working with corporate clients that need to get a lot of stuff done in a fast way, but likelihood of that happening is lower at certain specific stages. Now, why am I telling you all this? Why is this even relevant to you? Now, if you understand this concept and you also explain this to the clients whenever you're having some arguments about time and really making a project efficient, this is really going to help you out in clarifying your points and also understanding the client's points. Because the client has a business to run, and in order to bring that business to the next level and meet ends meet, he has to reach certain specific objectives, and that is the very pillar element which you should always have in your design solutions which you're proposing to your clients. So it always has to be a design solution which is going to achieve their goals, which is going to be usable for the users, which is going to communicate what the client needs to communicate to their target market. So all of these KPIs, which are key performance indicators, are essential in order to achieve the business goals. Now, if you want to bring things to the next level, and if you're in a position where you can actually do so, the very next best thing that you can do is to actually focus on the other three elements. So basically making it more meaningful, more convenient, and just a better user experience. So you can think about animation, making the aesthetics really pretty, setting up a design system so that everything in the design is going to be very consistent. There's going to be a lot of structure in place when it comes to design. There's not a lot of thinking, but we all know that also those things require more time, and you have to develop a feeling based on what makes more sense in that specific scenario, because for certain clients that doesn't make as much sense as other ones. And that is the cold hard truth, and you have to really understand where which one is the best solution for that specific client. So nowadays I definitely just analyze case by case, and what I do is I try to figure out what is the best ROI for that client, and is it just they need something to get the ball rolling. Maybe we can improve the UX solution with when it comes to the aesthetics, animations, those kind of things later on, or is it something where maybe the client has a need for that right away because he's competing in a marketplace where if the user experience also from a UI standpoint and in the flow standpoint isn't really on point, it's going to be difficult. So you have to analyze this thing case by case. So for example, if you're working with a moms and pop shop website, and you're trying to basically come up with the best solution in a non-competitive market where all of the other websites in a specific location look crappy, probably creating like a beautiful website, I mean, it can definitely help, but might not be the best ROI if a client doesn't have a lot of time or budget. So you have to keep that in mind. But if the client is trying to create a mobile app in the Apple Store, which is competing with the big guys in the tech space, for example, well, at that level, user experience is super important because customers and users just have a really high level of expectations when it comes to the UX. So if the UX and the UI is not on point, they will just leave. The retention rate is going to go down, and chances are they're not even going to download the app in the first place if it doesn't look good in certain fields. So you have to keep that in mind, and the final answer is it depends, meaning that you have to figure out what works best for that specific client, and not just fix on your idea of the perfect user experience should be beautiful and also functional in every single case. Either I do all the process A to Z, or I'm not taking the client, because that's not realistic if you're a freelancer. And yeah, definitely something you have to keep in mind. Your goal should be to get the client the best ROI and the best design experience, that the best design solution which you can. So definitely keep that in mind. And yeah, it's pretty much it for this video. Hope it helps. And if you liked it, please leave a thumbs up. In my YouTube channel, I have over 300 videos on UI UX design, so feel free to check it out. But that's pretty much it for now. I'll see you in the next video.